welcome to the Splash Live, Greater West Bloomfield's very own daily TV radio streaming show. You can watch live on Civic Center TV, Comcast Channel 15, AT&T Channel 99, and on the web at civiccentertv.com and on Civic Center TV's Facebook app. And if you are out driving around, guess what? You can tune us in on the radio, 89.3 Lakes FM. The Splash Live is part of Civic Center TV and Lakes FM's 150 minutes of live local programming. You can catch the show 9:30 a.m. Monday to Friday, followed by the Oakland County Megacast with Tyler Keith. That's at 10. And then the Michigan Megacast starts at 11. Hey, taking a look at some of the news in the Greater West Bloomfield area today. Did you see the big news coming out of Lansing yesterday regarding our schools, which will have a direct impact right here on the West Bloomfield School District? There's a new $19 billion with a B state school budget. It sets history-making per pupil funding. So the state's final $22.1 billion school budget signed by Governor Whitmer contains the highest per pupil funding in the state history. It's 12% higher in education than last year. So with the budget's $19.6 billion is allocated to K through 12 schools with a new $9,150 per pupil allocation. That's a 5% increase. That means more money right here in West Bloomfield. Special education, mental health, school safety, teacher retention, and school employee retirement funding among the many areas receiving extra funding. Also, $150 million is going to go towards school safety. But one of the things that we are experiencing right here in the Greater West Bloomfield area, teacher staffing shortage. It is a real issue. $305 million is going to go to try to fix that problem. I was out driving around yesterday, went past, and they already have the signs up and around, kind of try to get people to be substitute teachers. So get involved, be a substitute, help support education here in our area. What are you doing tonight? Friday night? You have any big plans? Come to Kego Harbor. City is going to be hosting its Block Club Party. It's this new thing that's being put on by the Parks and Recreation Department. Things get underway at 5:30 this evening. Slowfoot is going to be performing music, but you can't have fun at a block party without some food. Tim's Good Food Grill, the food truck, is going to be there as well. Again, it's 5:30 to 8:30, Kego Harbor, right behind City Hall at the park there. The band will be playing under the gazebo. Everyone is welcome. Weekend, boaters are going to be flocking to the lakes. It's been so busy this year. The Oakland County Sheriff's Department has added additional marine patrols. Civic Center TV's Luke Walters has more on how to stay safe out on the water.
With all the lakes in our area, boating safety is very crucial. Mark Lowry is here to give us some tips on boating safety.
Sure. We are fortunate to where we have access to lots of waterways, both with pools and with lakes and rivers. So water safety in general, first of all, we start with swim safety. A couple of rules with that, and the first one's pretty obvious. If you don't know how to swim, please go learn. Kids take to water right away. There's a lot of places around here that offer swim classes and stuff. As an adult, we can learn too. So that's number one. Number two, and you've heard it a lot of times, is look before you leap. Looking before you leap becomes important, especially when you're using a natural waterway. We don't know the depth. If you go to a pool, it's written right on the side. You don't know what it's like in a lake or in a river. And rivers have currents where pools generally don't. After that, I would probably say when it comes to swimming, and you've heard it before, please don't swim alone. Make sure that you're swimming with someone. A, it's more fun, and B, if something happens, they can help, because drowning is not a loud thing that causes attention. And if you're a mom and a dad playing with your kids or having your kids in the water, keep an eye on them. Wearing their vest and their water wings and stuff does not keep them from sticking their face in the water. So please keep an eye on your kids. When it comes to boats and swimming, alcohol and water do not mix, especially driving a boat. Boater safety, you'll find yourself in trouble not only with the law, but it's dangerous. So please don't do that.
So I'm not a boater.
Okay.
At all.
Okay.
So for somebody, if you got a rookie that's going out, what's the biggest thing you want them to be aware of while they're out on the water?
Number one, pay attention to where you are and where others are. There, you can go online and get your boater safety course, and you should have one before you're operating any vessel. Jet skiers have a tendency to be pretty active, and they're very quick. They can respond a lot quicker than you and your bigger boat can, so you have to keep your eye out for them. And when you're coming into dock or coming into shore, remember we just talked about swimming and keeping an eye on the people that are swimming. You're doing the same thing, especially when you're docking or coming closer to shore. That's where people are in the water, generally not out in the middle. If they are out in the middle, hopefully they're on a float or something that we can see them. So.
Yeah. Well, what can I have on my boat to keep myself and everybody safe while we're out there?
Whenever you're on a boat, you should have a life vest on. The other thing you should have is a fire extinguisher. Most boater safety checks will make sure that you have a fire extinguisher and a horn so that you can signal in case anything goes wrong.
Cool.
Being on the water is awesome. Swimming in the water is awesome. It's Michigan and the weather has been great. Go out, enjoy it, but please just do it safely.
And about how often do you come across a boating emergency?
We have the ability to respond to water accidents, and I would say we respond to maybe about 10 a year. And the sad part is a couple of those usually are fatal. So it is not something that we think about very often, especially when we're going out to have a great time, but safety is important.
Mark, real quick, you had mentioned that anybody that has more questions can go online and check out the safety course.
Hello, thank you for having me.
And of course, I'm not quite sure what's going on there, but of course, we also want to let you know that be aware of all the kayakers and the paddleboarders if you're going out on the lake. Hey, you're watching The Splash Live, a show dedicated to all things West Bloomfield, Kego Harbor, Sylvan Lake, and Orchard Lake. If you have a story suggestion or you want to come on the show, right there, we made it easy. That's a QR code. Just hold your phone up to it, and that will take you to the website for you to connect with us. Coming up, today's economy, more people are being forced to go without health care. How the Gary Burnstein Community Health Center is helping to fill that gap. Plus, Suzanne Levine, Executive Director with the West Bloomfield Chamber, will be with us to talk about how inflation is hitting area small business owners. That's coming up on The Splash Live.
We'll be right back with The Splash Live.
In the face of COVID-19, staying healthy is important. And now the same is true as we face the flu. Influenza has the potential to infect millions, putting lives and the healthcare system at risk. Fortunately, it's easy to protect yourself. The flu vaccine is safe and effective, and with COVID-19 still spreading, it's essential. To see how you can hit this virus head-on, visit michigan.gov/flu.
Can I ask you a question? Why do you want to get the COVID-19 vaccine?
I don't like getting sick. The virus will die. It will be easy to not catch it. Keep my family safe and keep playing soccer. Because I love being vaccinated.
What's your hope for everyone?
I hope everybody gets the vaccine. To keep safe and strong. Be like happy, having fun everywhere. Everyone stay safe and hope you get the vaccine.
And now, back to The Splash Live.
Welcome back to The Splash Live, the Greater West Bloomfield's only live streaming show. I'm Ronnie Dahl. With the high cost of living, more and more people, including those right here in the Greater West Bloomfield community, are going without health care to try to save money. It can have a devastating effect. The Gary Burnstein Community Health Clinic is trying to help those families. And with us this morning, we are blessed to have with us Susana Jackiewicz, Community Outreach Director, and Keyona Bernard, Community Vaccination Outreach Director. Thank you to the both of you for being with us.
Thank you for having us.
Susana, can we start with you for those not familiar with the clinic? Fill us in on what the clinic does.
Absolutely. We provide healthcare services for adults 18 years of age or older who are uninsured. And so most of our patients are working 2 and 3 jobs. They're part-time jobs. They're not getting any kind of insurance or benefits from their employer. And they need to make a decision between, do I take care of my healthcare or do I put food on the table? We don't want them to have to make those decisions. We want people to pay their rent, their electric bill, feed their families, and stay healthy so they can continue to work. So we are able to provide a whole plethora of services. It's not just about coming in and seeing a medical doctor for basic needs. So we have specialty doctors. So if you happen to come into the clinic and you find out that you have a foot problem or you have a heart issue, you're going to see either our podiatrist or our cardiologist. All it takes is another appointment for you to come back in. We have 12 specialties. So in addition to that, we also have full dental services for people. We also have a in-house pharmacy, so you will get your prescriptions filled here. It won't cost you anything. We will do your lab work. If there's any need for imaging, like let's say an MRI or someone has a fracture, we have a relationship with a local hospital. We will send them there and they will get those services taken care of, again, at no cost to them whatsoever. We also do behavioral health, so that if COVID has been really, there's been an uptick in depression and anxiety as a result of these 2.5 years of changing people's lives in a very negative way. So now we have a behavioral health component, and we're able to take care of the needs that folks have regarding that. Am I missing anything, Keyona? We also do eyeglasses. So we can do a full eye exam and provide you with eyeglasses. So I call us a wraparound healthcare provider because we're able to pretty much take care of anything and everything that someone needs to make sure they stay healthy and that they can go on with their lives.
Yeah, Susana, it's a lifeline for so many people. And Keyona, can I ask you, you're probably so busy right now at the Community Vaccination Outreach Clinic there.
Yes, I have been very busy. I know a lot of people may feel as if COVID is over, and even some people feel like, is COVID still a thing? Yes, it's still a thing. People are still being hospitalized for COVID. People are still dying from COVID. And, it's time for people to realize this is not going away anytime soon. So yes, I host clinics here at the Gary Burnstein Community Health Clinic in Pontiac every Friday from 9 to 1. And I also have the capability of hosting pop-up clinics at any facility, organization, whether it could be schools or nursing homes, churches. I can come to their site to make it more accessible for people who don't have transportation, have my vaccines right there on site to vaccinate people who want to get vaccinated.
Yeah, so Keyona's going out to senior centers as well, and that's really important for our older population.
Right, because so many people too, transportation can become an issue. And can I ask you ladies as well, because I know that your physical location is Pontiac, but do you get to the surrounding areas as well?
Yes.
Well, go ahead.
Go ahead. Yes, we do get to the surrounding areas. We have the capability of going anywhere within Oakland County. I've been to West Bloomfield. I've been to Madison Heights, Southfield. It really doesn't matter. If they need the COVID vaccine, I'm able to travel anywhere to make sure I can vaccinate those who want it.
Yeah, and as far as the medical component, people do need to come to our clinic in order to receive those services. We do try and provide transportation as a last resort when people are not able to get here, but we find that folks find a way to get here. We're also on a bus line. So that's very helpful as well. And we don't just serve Oakland County or Pontiac, we serve the entire state of Michigan. So last month we had a gentleman who drove 3 hours to get to us because he needed $3,000 worth of medication he couldn't afford. So people are willing to do what they need to do to get to us. And as you know, the cost of medications are horrendous. So,
oh my gosh. And we've all heard the nightmare stories of people going without their medication because they can't afford it. So you really are saving lives here. And with that as well, like when you're trying to determine who to service, do they have to show a need? How does that side of the house work?
That's a very good question. So we are at 250% of the poverty guideline, which for most people, that means nothing unless you're kind of in the business of figuring that out. So for an individual that's coming to our clinic, one person household could make $34,000 a year and be eligible for all of our services. However, if you have other people in your home, then you add almost $12,000 individual person. So a household of 4 people, for example, could make almost $70,000 a year and be eligible for our services. So it's a generous guideline. You know, if you're trying to get assistance through the Department of Health and Social Services, that's a very low bar, and a lot of folks can't reach that. But for us, again, our target is the folks who are working, making a living, and just not enough to afford insurance. As I'm sure you know, insurance is through the roof.
Oh my gosh, the prices are so crazy. And because are you seeing too, there's an increased need, and some people don't realize your services are there. So they let these health issues go to the point where then it can become life-threatening.
Exactly. And so what typically happens, and we also work with a local hospital here in Pontiac, because what happens is people do exactly that. They think, I can't afford to go to the doctor, so I'm going to just keep putting this aside and hoping that I'll be okay. And they end up in the emergency room. And if they have to go inpatient, now by the time you're released, you have a huge hospital bill that you're never going to be able to pay. And now your credit is going to go downhill, and you're going to have people hounding you for money on a regular basis. And so we're really trying to get the word out so people don't allow their health to lapse, to get to the point where they're at critical mass, and now they're at the emergency room. And so it's really, I'm so grateful, Ronnie, that you had us on the program this morning, because people need to know about us. You know, I still will talk to people and they say, what's the catch? And I say, there is no catch. You just have to you have to provide income information so that we know that you're meeting the guidelines, and we can provide services to refugees, undocumented individuals. That's not even a barrier. We want to make sure that we are removing barriers to healthcare access, and so we do a wonderful job. And I can also tell you here at the clinic, everyone loves their work. Our professional staff are all volunteers. There's a handful of us that are paid staff, but all of our doctors and our nurses and our dentists and hygienists and so on, they're all volunteers. They're people that really want to give back to the community, and they're here for the right reasons.
Wow, what a wonderful service. And I'll be honest, I didn't know about the clinic. It was actually Suzanne Levine with the West Bloomfield Chamber that told me about the clinic. And I just want to thank you to your entire staff. And you know, how can people reach out if they want to set up a vaccination clinic, like at their senior center or, you know, one of their places?
Yes, if people want to reach out and set up a clinic, they can contact our clinic here, the the Gary Burnstein Clinic. They can give us a call here, and Susana, I have our own voicemail, and they can leave it. I can give them our phone number. It's 248. One second, give you the direct number.
I never remember phone numbers anymore, by the way.
I'm so sorry, I don't know by heart. 248-309. 3752.
So 248-309-3752.
Yes. They can call that number, and they can leave a message stating that they want to host a pop-up COVID clinic at their site or facility, and I will give them a call back to set something up.
Well, I want to say thank you so much to both of you for taking time to be with us. And please say thank you to your entire staff for what you're doing, because you're saving lives. And, you know, we know so many people right now are struggling, but they shouldn't be too proud. And it's great to know that you're here.
Thank you so much for having us, Ronnie.
Yes. And if I could add one thing, Ronnie, if anyone that's watching your program would like to provide a donation, because our work is based on we have a lot of private support. We have some grants as well. But if anybody is interested in providing a donation, they can go to GBCHC, which stands for Gary Burnstein Community Health Clinic.org. And they can go to the donate button, or they can call that same number that Keyona just gave you and ask for Paula Brown, because she's our fund development director, and she would be glad to give them whatever information they need. We really appreciate that. We couldn't do it without the help of the community and all the supporters that we have.
Well, thank you for adding that. Thank you so much. I hope the two of you have a happy weekend.
Thank you as well.
Great information for everyone in the community. You're watching The Splash Live, part of Civic Center TV's and Lakes FM's 150 minutes of live local programming. Catch the show Monday through Friday, 9:30 a.m. until 10. Suzanne Levine joins us next here on The Splash Live.
We'll be right back with The Splash Live.
Let's savor these moments, made possible by the COVID-19 vaccine. Keep the dining out going by keeping yourself protected and your COVID-19 vaccines up to date.
You know, it's peaceful, it's quiet, and the noise and stress of life can sometimes disappear.
It's the Great Lakes water. And so what people do ends up in our waterways.
It's for our health and safety, it's for our economy, it's for protecting the environment that we all enjoy and we all need to survive.
So clearing storm drains and the areas nearby of trash and leaves helps keep them for rain only.
We're all about one water in this region. We're all connected. We all have a role.
And now, back to The Splash Live.
Welcome back. I'm Ronnie Dahl. This is The Splash Live, Greater West Bloomfield's very own daily TV, radio, and streaming show. You can catch us on Channel 15 if you have Comcast, Channel 99 on AT&T, but you can always catch us on the web, civiccentertv.com, and on Civic Center TV's Facebook page, as well as you can listen live on the radio, 89.3 Lakes FM. Well, if you're like so many of us, you are definitely feeling the pinch when you go out and do any type of shopping. It doesn't matter if it's at the gas station or the grocery store. We are all having to pinch our pennies, and that goes for area businesses as well. With us now, we want to bring in our good friend, Miss Suzanne Levine, Executive Director for the Greater West Bloomfield Chamber of Commerce. Thank you for being with us.
Well, thank you for this Groundhog's Day again. I appreciate it.
Hey, I do want to say thank you too for the suggestion of our previous guest. I didn't know that service was out there. How lucky are we to have that? So thank you so much. So many people need it.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. So, Suzanne, you know, one of the things, you go to a restaurant and you're seeing higher prices for the same food, or maybe the portion sizes are lower. And sometimes we want to kind of take it out on the business thinking, they're fleecing us, but really they're just trying to survive as well.
Absolutely. I mean, they have to pass the cost on to someone or they will go out of business. And it's so problematic because we know that it starts at the gas pump. And when, the truck drivers have to pay an exorbitant amount for diesel, they have to pass these costs on as well. And there's shortages. And yes, the portions are smaller and everyone seems to be more irritable and they can't find help. So it's kind of the perfect storm for a lot of businesses and people being frustrated and angry.
We're 2.5 years into this. And I know in the beginning, there was so much talk and a push to remind people, hey, be nice. Hey, be nice. They're short workers, they're working longer hours. But I feel like as we continue on, we're almost thinking that we're out of this pandemic, but it's really still with us. But we're forgetting to, try to, extend those courtesies because for so many of these employees, they're still struggling.
Absolutely. I call it post-pandemic rage. Instead of it being on the road, it's directed at shop owners, at restaurant owners, at the wait staff who really have no control over what's going on, in the kitchen. I know when we went to this one restaurant we love, they've been updating their menu like every month, because the prices just keep going up. In fact, they were thinking about just leaving prices off and having people ask, because that's how quickly the food, is increasing. All you have to do is go to the supermarket and see that. And it's really incredible. And I'm not really sure, there's all these projections about a recession and wages are going down. So it's very problematic right now. And I feel so bad for not just the people that own businesses that are struggling right now, but the people that want to patronize them and have to decide, how am I going to spend my money? Am I going to spend it on, will I have steak this week? Will I have a hamburger this week? Although hot dogs, I heard, have not risen in cost. So there's one.
Well, yeah, I think it's because maybe we're not supposed to be putting them in our body, right?
Right.
So I know one of the great things I think has kind of been a good thing to come out of COVID is we've realized how important human connection is. And the chamber was such a lifeline for so many of these businesses. And it really got people that would maybe not talk before to start to interact and collaborate. And I know you guys have a big chamber event coming up. Do you want to tell us about that?
Yes, we're really excited. We're partnering with several other chambers, the Lakes area, Novi, Farmington Hills, Southfield, and as well, obviously, us. It's Wednesday, July 20th. It's at the Suburban Showcase Collection in Novi. There is a charge to attend. It's $15 at the door for chamber members, any chamber member, and $25 for non-chamber members. But it's an awesome ability to connect with all these different businesses. We have, I think there's about 40 or so vendors there, different businesses ranging from health and wellness to food to all kind of insurance, all different kinds of information. But a great way, if people bring their business cards, to just connect with other people and do business. The possibility exists and the opportunity exists to do business with someone you may have never met from a different chamber.
I love that. And so with that as well, how can people find out more information? I think I said on your website.
Yes. It's westbloomfieldchamber.com. It's the multi-chamber networking event, or they can contact me either at wbloomfieldchamber@gmail.com or 248-626-3636, or just show up 3:30, 4 o'clock at Showcase Suburban Collection and come to our table and we'll register you. And there's free appetizers. There is a cash bar, but it's a fabulous event. People, I do believe, want to be out there again. And so this is just an amazing opportunity to connect with a lot of different businesses and a lot of different people from a multitude of chambers.
Wow. And, networking, it's all about networking. Absolutely. All about networking.
It's all who you know. It's all who you know.
Yeah. Well, Miss Suzanne Levine, we always appreciate having you, and you always bring great information and connect and get involved with your chamber. Thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you always, and have a beautiful weekend. Right now, it looks great.
I know. Fingers crossed, right? Although you're getting old when you like the rain, because then your garden grows.
That's right.
That's going to do it for today's edition of The Splash Live. I want to say thank you to our guests for being with us. Tyler is up next with the MegaCast. And also, we just want to remind you, if you have a story idea or maybe you want to come on the show, just let us know. There's a QR code that's on civiccentertv.com. Scan it and fill out the form. We'll see you Monday. Happy weekend, everyone.